Good morning, good morning. Good morning, early Wednesday. Today we're working on The Great Granny Squared by Laurie Holt. If you haven't received this one, this is a good one, and it's an easy um, block quilt to make. So this is what I'm working on now. So I've already cut my pieces out, I've already cut my pieces out, and so what I love about this is because it gives you uh, easy patterns to use as far as what to name them, which is really cute. Like this is the baby, this is the mama, this is the granny, and then this is the great granny. So I love that. So it's just really cute whenever you work on it that way. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and finish piecing. And once I finish piecing this up, we'll take you back to the ironing board where I will iron these out and then piece the entire block together and then cut it, and you can see what it turns out to look like. Let me continue the piece and sew these together. And I hope you can see it okay. I've got to really find a better way to video. I am using my Juki TL18QVP machine, sewing machine. And I am sewing at a 1/4 inch. And I have my 1/4 inch foot on over here. And I won't pin these until I get ready to piece them together so the seams are matched. I'm sure some of you know a quicker way to do this. I don't sew that often, so it's not like so. I'm just learning how to quilt, so I'm still a new quilter, I call myself. So I'm just going to piece these together. Okay, put this up here. And I like to keep mine on the board so I can see what I have. Because you can easily mess up, especially if you try to do 2 and 3 things at one time. I can't multitask on sewing because I don't. And I've got to finish this board off as a display board. And the reason I use such a huge piece on here is because I wanted to see all of my blocks and see how they look. I'm going to piece them together. So let's go with this one next. And this is how I sort of keep mine in order. And you might know an easy or better way to do this. And I didn't use a leader in. Make sure you put the pretty pieces together. Almost done with this row. And it goes fast when you're having fun. And if you got directional fabric, make sure you keep in line with your directional fabric if you want to. But you know, it's your quilt. And those are the options you have when you're making your own quilt. Don't worry about the mistakes. Just enjoy the process. And that's what makes it fun, when you can enjoy the process of it all. Because sewing should be relaxing. It shouldn't be stressful. And I didn't even know how to sew. My mom would try to teach me years ago, but I wanted to have nothing to do with it. Boy, I wish I would have listened now. But there's a season for everything and a time. So here we go. And I hope I got them all right. Let's see here. Yeah. Had to make sure. Because the seam ripper is my friend, but I don't want it to be my friend today. And you know, check out some of Laura Holt's videos. I mean, she can show you all the ins and out of the different tips on sewing your quilt blocks, because I'm also working on the hometown quilt. I haven't finished it yet, but I love it. It's beautiful. The colors are so vivid. And if you're from a small town, it just makes you think about the little small town that you're from. When I finish piecing all of these, or sewing all these pieces together, what I'm going to do is take it over to the ironing board and iron it. Press out the seams and bring it back over and finish sewing all the ones together. So in the comment section, tell me some of the projects that you're working on. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. So I'm left-handed. Sometimes I do things a little bit differently. And this goes fast. So cause what I usually try and do is come out and cut my fabric. Work on cutting for about an hour. And then if I decide to piece, I'll go ahead and piece, but if not, I'll go ahead and set it up so I can piece the next day. Because you don't want to get tired out. Well, with me, I just want to do a little bit every day, so I can work on a lot of different projects instead of one main project that I'm working on. Sort of add some spice to your life. I could have put my knee lift on here, but it's going pretty quickly. Now, if I can do this, I know everybody else can do this, because I am not that kind of a quilter. Okay, so let's get these going. So I try to work on a block a day. And if I work on my block a day, then I don't know, let's say if I do a block a day, if I want to do 30 blocks, and these end up being 12 by 12 blocks. So therefore I can go ahead and get my blocks done. So let's say if I haven't figured out how many blocks I need yet, but I'm gonna put it in my quilt software and see how many blocks or how large I want to make it. And so that'll let me know exactly how many of these I need to do, and also how long it's going to take me as well. So that's my game plan for right now. I'm almost done, peeps. I hope I kept everything in order. We shall see. I'm going to go over to the ironing board. Almost done. This is so relaxing to do this. So we ended up with the great granny. Yeah, I guess that's the baby, the mama, the granny, and the great granny. Today I'm just showing you how I piece this together. The next time I'll go through the full step. But I purchased the Great Granny Squared book from the Fat Quarter Shop. So you can definitely find it there. You might can find it other places too. But she gives you a lot of other patterns in here other than just the Great Granny Square. She has other patterns like your pillows and different things you want to do in the Great Granny Square. So here we are. We are done with piecing this part of it together. So what we'll do next is take it to the ironing board and press it out, and I'll be right back. I am at the ironing board and I'm getting ready to press out my blocks that I just finished up. And I hope this works out okay, because I've got the camera set up over here. I hope you can see it all right. And the iron that I use is a Rowenta. I love this. It's called the Perfect Steam Pro. All the water's here. Water steams comes up through here, and I just love it. So now we're gonna go ahead and press these out. So I'm gonna bring my board straight over here to the ironing table here. And let's just go ahead and press these. And to me, it really doesn't matter which direction you press these in, because you can flip over you can easily flip over your designs. was trying to get it in the direction that it was going, so you can tell this ironing board is what? Well loved. And very used. Okay, so you can see the design definitely is coming together. And it really doesn't take that long to press these out. I love that iron. And sometimes when I'm working on this, I have my husband to take a look at it for me because he's got a really good eye for the way things should go. And he can see the patterns in there. Sometimes I can't, but he can, so. Love my baby. Rowenta. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not. I hope that you can. But this is how it looks now that I've got everything pressed out. So now I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and sew the rest of these together. Sew all my rows together and things. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the sewing machine. Okay, here I am back at the sewing station. So let's take a look at this. Now these I do pin because I just want to make sure that everything comes out as best I can. Get it to be even, but sometimes it just doesn't work out and I don't worry about it. But I do know if I don't pin, then it would be even worse. So anyway, so let's get to sewing. So I'm using these little flat pins here. So let's see what we have. Then once I finish this, we'll go back to the ironing board and press those out. And I try to take these sort of slow, especially when I'm going over the seams. Okay, got that one done. That one is all finished, so let's take the pins out. I'm going to take the pins out right here and put them back in the container. Okay, I think this is the longest one here. I'm just going to do this there. And I can go ahead and connect. This one won't take that long to connect that. Let's see if they're going in the opposite. Oh, they're going in the opposite direction. So they should lock together well. So I'm still going to pin it though. My pinning isn't always perfect, and I don't claim to be, but this is also to a learning process. You learn and you gather information, and then you move on. So I hope something that I'm doing here can help somebody else out, or you might have a different way of doing things, and that's okay. And sometimes I just use my scissors to help guide it through. Okay, let's go. Let's get started. And this is where my scissors come in handy. So I just use them to hold that down. Lift it up a little bit and move on through. Yes. And be careful about how you run over your pins. Also, you can get double pins too for this. Sometimes I usually would use double pins, but I can't find them now. And sometimes you can have too much junk in your sewing room. You can get what you already have. Okay, we got that one done. Okay. So that seems to be working out the right way now. Let's see what we have here. Go ahead and get this one started. And I like the 1/4 guide, because basically I'm just looking at the 1/4 guide here. There. And just go in that direction. I go over those really slowly, over the seams that's folded or nested in. I'm just a slow sewer anyway, so hey.
Rebecca said you're out here.
Yeah, so I'm videoing.
Oh, you want me to be quiet?
Okay, so now I've got that one sewn. So I'm gonna go through here and let's take the pin out. My lovely daughter just entered into the room. So she's going to work out here today. So we'll have a little bit of some company. So let's go ahead and put these in. I need to flip this around. Oh, no, flip it around. Yep, here we go. And this is why you like to have the board here, so you can see exactly what you're doing. Because now we've got, oh, I hope I kept these in order. We'll see. Okay, looks like everything is in order. So let me put this on here. I've got the last one. I've got my pins in here. So we're going to sew these down as well. And then I can meet you back over to the ironing board. And we can go from there.
What?
Okay, moving right along here. Let's move on. This is where I go in and take my scissors to help me go on the, and I sew real slowly there to nest these in. Okay. Here we go. Now that one finished, so now all I have to do is attach it. Let's take the pins out. And put these together like this. So, okay, so let's take this. I'm gonna flip it over and let's see how that goes. Oh, I forgot I hadn't put that one together. So I do have a couple more seams to put together. Let's see here. See if I need to pin any of these down. Let's see. And we're gonna flip it this way. It doesn't matter really which way you flip it. So let me take this back to the ironing board and press this out. And I'll meet you back over to the sewing machine in a jiffy. Okay, once again, I'm back over here at the sewing station. And so now I've pinned these down, the final sewing. And we're gonna go ahead and finish this up. And then I'm gonna take it back to the ironing board. And then we will be done, and press it out. And then I've got a few more things to sew on there. So we're almost reaching the finish line. Yeah, because I know I can. Okay. Okay, so what we're doing now is finish this sewing end up on this end, and then I'm gonna flip it around and sew the other end. Okay, let me remove the pins here. Oh, I thought I had sewn it together. Okay, so now let me sew this in. Okay. I need a stylus to do this, but I'm just using my scissors right now. There we go. It fits right into the groove, but you know, if it's not perfect, it's okay. Sometimes you have so many different designs you can't even tell. And I'm not putting this into the state fair or anything, so but it'll be a pretty quilt. Might put it on the Etsy shop. Oh, I gotta go through. I didn't sew this all the way to the end. Go back and redo that. Oh, I was missing something. Removing the pins, and so now I've just got to sew my ends on, and then we'll be able to take it to the cutting board in just a little bit. Let's go through and iron this out. Okay, let's go back over here to the ironing board, and we're going to press it out, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, just want to show you something real quickly on this square. These on the ends here, let's see if you can see this. I've got to take it over to the cutting table and even these up. And then I put something on the bottom here, and I cut off the other ends so we can even these all up. But this is what it looks like for now. I'll be right back with you once I cut those ends off. Okay, so now we're back at the ironing board, and we have these rectangles that we need to put on each end of your quilt block. Now, you can measure this if you want to. Today, I'm just going to try and eyeball it. So you try and get it in the center of the various ends of your quilt block. So usually what I do is press mine in half and try and work it that way. But in the end, you end up cutting those off anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So you just want to eyeball it and see if you can get it in the center. So let's try and do that. And you don't necessarily have to pin these if you don't want to. I'm just going to go ahead and stick, maybe just put one pin in there just to hold it so I can sew it in. And just look at it and eyeball it and get it in the center as much as possible. Because when you're cutting it, you definitely want to make sure that there is enough fabric on the end that you can square it up and cut it. So I'm just pinning these down, and I'm going to take them over to the sewing machine and sew these down, and then I'll come back to the ironing board and press these out. And the next thing I will be doing is squaring it up, and we would have completed this task, and this will make my second block. I just pinned it at the very top here. Now I'm back over to the ironing board. Maybe next time I will have my pressing block at the table where I'm sewing, so I don't have to jump up and down like a jack in the box. But sometimes it's good that you get up and move around. So now I just want to press these out on the ends here. Oops. Okay, let's see the true test. Let me take it over to the cutting board. And when you see it again, I would have it cut. So let me show you what I use to cut this. I use my creative grid ruler here. So let's make sure. So we're not going to just lay it down flat for your creative grid ruler to use it to cut it. What you do is sort of turn it on an angle. I was getting scared there for a minute. It was like, okay, my stuff is not fitting. Okay. So since this finished up to a 12-inch block, we want to make sure everything is right inside the block so you can cut it. And it all looks pretty good to me. Make sure I got my 3s on the end, 3s here. Okay, flip it back around. Looks pretty good. Okay, so looks like everything is on the inside of the ruler. And I'm going to go over to the cutting table and cut it. So when you see it again, we'll have a finished block. See you in a little bit. Okay, peeps, I'm back. I just got to show you this block. There it is. It came out so nice. Hope you can see it great. Yes, that's the block for that we just finished today. And then let me show you the one I did from yesterday. This is the block from yesterday. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. So these are the two blocks together. There they are. Made with the same charm pack, or not charm pack, but I had a pack of fabric that I used, and I just changed up the squares and where I was going to put the squares, but using the same color. So that should make a nice quilt, I think. So I am so pleased. So this is the square for today, and this is the square from yesterday. Over and out. Thank you all so much. Make sure you share, like, and comment. Look forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and go out and stitch something. Have a great day. Bye. Keep on sewing.